Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we're reviewing episode 45 of Evolve. I don't know why I'm nervous. I mean, I have a guest here. I have the one and only Scar, my partner in crime.
Hi.
This is their first Evolve episode, which you got very lucky that I think it was a pretty solid episode compared to
Hmm.
some of the episodes we've reviewed here. So I think you kind of had were my lucky charm here with this at least.
Okay.
All right, so we start off the show. We obviously this is the episode with the PC talent taking over, so they had to pick the card, and they get to obviously be a little bit more high school bullies. It felt like Scar had mentioned that it felt
Yeah.
like a high school feel to it, and I was like, I kind of get this whole thing. Yeah, it made a lot of
More
sense.
like a 90s, like
Yeah, 90s.
Nickelodeon vibe is kind of what I felt like what it was giving off was a 90s Nickelodeon vibe.
Yeah, no, I get that, and I liked it. I
I'm
made
not
it.
mad at it though.
No, I definitely was enjoyable. It definitely had that extra feel to it. So, yeah, we obviously started with a bunch of the ID talent being banned from the building. I guess it's a nice little talent. I thought it was interesting that they'd all be walking in together too. That felt kind of like
Hmm.
'90s where every all the main characters are here together, and
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, I'll just put that in B. Good start to the show. Nothing crazy, nothing bad. A lot of those
I
segments
was a
are.
little disappointed with that segment because there was a guy in the farther back who had on the glasses with the three lenses, like they had a third eye. I wanted to see him a little bit more. He seemed interesting.
Oh yeah, Aaron works pretty good. They give him quite a few segments. Like he's in a tag team with Marshall Mathers, who wasn't there. Marcus Mathers. I say it every single time wrong because Marshall Mathers is Slim Shady Eminem, and I say his name wrong every time. But yeah, he gets
Okay,
quite
I
a bit of
gotcha.
a storyline for the most part with him. But he's kind of more of a tag team wrestler. But yeah, he's a pretty interesting character. I like him. But yeah, he got to talk at least. But that's basically how they do. I really feel like they get like a body count in a lot of these episodes. They're like, we got 20 guys to fill into this
Fill it as
episode.
much as,
And
yeah.
that was kind of that segment with most of them. Like Mike Cunningham didn't say anything, the shirtless cowboy guy on the right, and then Sam Holloway was in the back, who also didn't get anything to say. He's even a heel, so it made even less sense that he's with them. But
Hmm.
yeah, so I think B. I could see you were a little lower. I mean, it overall was just kind of a start. They just wanted to make it even more unfair. And then we go to the graphics of the intro being changed for all the PC talent being only ones highlighted into them coming out with the with the graphic also with all of them, which definitely felt like somebody's first job in like graphic design because all of it was like kind of hokey, but like also like it was endearing because of like how like you said it like the old school
The 90s
Nickelodeon filled.
Nickelodeon feel, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was very, it was weird. Like, you could have shown me this episode and told me this was like from the 90s or like early 2000s, and I would have believed you.
Oh yeah, because it feels that way. Like normally, like the show has that feel to a certain extent, but this one definitely was like a ramped up to like 20 on it because it was like the first specialty episode they've had. Because I mean, I guess they've had one other one where they had a random dude from Tubi make the card, and he was like a character for like 2 episodes. And I was like, I don't watch anything on Tubi. I don't know who this guy is, but they made everybody like obsessed with him, and it was just that was a very weird time
Hmm.
also. But I think like for the graphics and all that, I think I'd put that feel. I like that. I'm gonna put it in S tier at least for me
Yeah, I
because
liked it a lot
the
too.
whole throughout the entire show they had different things, and I think it really it was good. And then we get to our first match. It was Tate Wilder, who's normally the worst on this show. I already regretting having to talk
We'll
about
get to
this
that.
match against
No,
Sean
because that's the
Legacy.
thing. All Japan has said, he's like, I don't like Tate Wilder. He's like, I just don't like him. And this is my first time seeing him, anything of him. and I thought he was really good. Like he had some really great moves, like jumping off the rope. There was like another move that I thought was really, really good. And then there was no cowboy gimmick, like you say there always is. And I can't hate on him. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, because okay, because this is the normally this man does nothing. Like he's never gone up to the top rope more than like just falling down, and then he comes down either in the cowboy hat or then he abandoned that and then he was wearing like a bulletproof like vest. I think it was supposed to be like one of those bull riding vests, but it was just dumb. And then of course he comes out normally and he has back to back pretty good moves. Those were like his best that he's ever had in the world. Like I've never seen him do
hmm
anything. And of course he has this. He
Yeah,
wrestles his.
I don't see the hate only because I maybe, I haven't had the history that you have with this poor man. I
but
thought he was
but
pretty
you can
good.
see from a lot of there is way too many damn cowboys on this show. Like you were
Oh,
looking
for sure, for
at the other
sure.
guys, you're like, are those cowboys? And I'm like, well, they I forget their tag team or like the guy's nickname is the Space Cowboy, which is still a cowboy.
Yeah.
So like there's other cowboys that there was Mike Cunningham that was on that first scene. He's a cowboy. The Brooks Jensen is a southerner, but I get his old gimmick used to be a cowboy. Like it's just such a rundown gimmick that people use all the time. And it's like it doesn't work in this day and age because like it
They're
doesn't
like the
do
Cowboys.
anything. Like it's
No, I get it.
nothing.
I get where you're coming from with that being like kind of a pointless gimmick. As far as the match went though, I'd say I felt like it was pretty good. I felt like they actually really got to highlight each of the guys pretty well, in my opinion. I felt like they
Oh,
each kind of had their
definitely.
moment, and they even pulled out the Slim Jim table for it. There was one moment in the match where I believe it was Tate. Was it Tate Wilder or someone got thrown onto that
Yeah, Tay Walter
chair?
got thrown onto that chair towards the
Yeah.
end, and I definitely don't think that was supposed to happen. Especially because like they made the whole thing of like Sean Legacy didn't want to use the weapon, and then he just like yeeted him onto a chair. I'm like, that's the same thing. Like just because you didn't swing it,
Well,
but I don't think that
and
was meant to happen. So it felt like definitely a botch. I mean,
yeah, it didn't feel like it was supposed to. And I feel like the Legacy guy seems to be good at wrestling. I just don't know if I vibe with his energy. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't know about him. And then Hamlet. What?
um,
I think that's an Animal Crossing character. Wait,
that
who's the
is.
Hamlet?
I can't even think of his name. Oh my lord, you it completely just went out of my head because
I
Harlem Lewis, Harlem Lewis, Hamlet.
Harlem, not Hamlet.
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
know where the
his
hell
name is now
Hamlet came
Hamlet
from.
now.
He seemed pretty decent, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, he
I thought
was
it was a good match.
he was originally built up really well, and then like he went to LFG, and then like now he's back, so like they're trying to rebuild him up, and it's just like like it's just kind of like a slow process because like they have to do that because pretty much like the whole men's roster is going to be completely different in 2 weeks, and so like they're trying to scramble because I have a feeling this is the
Gotta
episode
get
where they
Hamlet
kind
out
of
there.
yeah they kind of realize like, oh crap, we're going to lose a bunch of these guys. So yeah, I'll put this match up in S tier for Evolve. This is
Oh,
probably one of the better matches that they've ever had. Yeah.
I thought it was a really good match. I would say S tier for that one too for me. I know what it is about Legacy. He feels like he's trying to be almost like a knockoff LA Knight. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just my one singular impression of this person.
I can kind of see what you're going with there. He does definitely has
Maybe
that
it's the
vibe.
little undies, I don't know, like kind of like what LA Knight wears. I just don't like those. I don't know why. And
Yeah,
I
I'm not
didn't
a
like
big fan.
Hamlet or Harlem's little boxers.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
that's
I don't
because
know
it
if you
just looks
really
like he's
talk about
straight
people's
up.
gear.
I do every once in a while. Like I mainly rag on Tate Wilder not deciding what the hell he's
Yes.
wearing, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of those undies either. Because like even when you go a couple matches later with the Brooks Jensen one, he always just comes down in like boxers and he has nothing else when it comes to gear. So like he just seems
hmm
like they found him out outside and brought him in there and he's just fighting in his
Yeah.
underwear. So like
They're like,
it's such
he's
a
like, I don't have
weird
anything to
thing.
wear. It's fine. Just wear your underwear. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you shit yourself, you're already in that final draws. It's fine.
You're
But
right.
yeah,
You're
no, I
right.
get it. He has that, and I think with him at least, he's gonna have to figure out some type of in depth for his character because he's just a baby face. Like that's his gimmick. He's just the good guy,
Hmm.
and there's really not much. Or like he's super, which is just again, just just not really a gimmick. But it is interesting that you picked up on that
Yeah,
because it
that's the
is kind
thing.
of the
It's
truth.
like LA Knight without the pizzazz of LA Knight, without
Yeah,
the because what makes LA Knight fun is all like, his vibe, his yeah, like let me talk to you. Like he has like a thing. He's kind of got something going on. I don't know what you would call LA Knight's gimmick, but he has pizzazz, and
yeah,
it felt like he was a younger LA Knight without the pizzazz. I guess that's kind of the vibe that I was getting
I
from him.
get
Once
it. Yeah,
again,
I get
this is
it.
my singular. I've never seen an episode of Evolve. I only recognize a couple of these people because I watched one of the seasons, some of the episodes of LFG with you.
Yeah.
I really, I don't. This is just a rando's opinion kind of a thing.
Yeah. No, yeah, no, yeah, but those are good things. Those are always good to see somebody freshly looking at it because, like, even the Tate
Mhm.
Wilder fit, I always give him crap, but seeing somebody new look at him, then you can see that he
Yeah, and I thought he
wasn't
was
that
kind of
bad.
interesting, and I thought he had some really good moves. I don't know, like
None of this has
you,
ever
you
happened
rag on him,
before.
and
this is
you're like, this is
this
new.
is
I promise, this is
completely
so
yeah.
not real.
Like I've always said,
Good
he's not
news.
bad. He's not a bad person, and like I don't think he's like the worst wrestler on the roster. But like
Right.
the way that he's wrestled before is that he wrestles like a cowboy, where he's just kind of grappling type of like of stuff, which is not really his fault. Like his first ever match was a bull rope match where he's tied to the other guy, which you're very limited to what you can do in that. And
Mhm.
like there's been matches like that where he's just kind of in there to just kind of be the good guy of the PC pit talent. Like he just hasn't really done that. And like I said, the cowboy thing just it's just too much because like that was his whole thing. And they just I would be by the like episode 50, like 5 episodes from now, he'll be like a city slicker or something because they keep slowly getting rid of that. I think they know that they have too many
Mhm.
cowboys. But we'll go to
Maybe
the next
so.
match. The only women's match they added, I feel like they had to have watched the review because that was the biggest gripe about this whole entire storyline is that there was no women in it, so it just kind of felt like just kind of a sexist like thing. So they added 2 women. Like that was my I think exact words last review or the review before. It's like just add one on each side and at least it'll be better than nothing. And that's exactly what they did with having PJ Vasa and Luck in here, which
Think, honestly, it felt like they had no chemistry in the ring, like zero chemistry, and I just didn't think it was a good match. I felt like some of the moves were very strange. I don't really know the names of moves, but that one move where Lucky was on PJ and like it kind of looked like they were humping. I'm not trying to be
yeah,
rude, but like
it no, it's
it was
true.
very odd.
Well, she tried to do like the bear hug. It's like a submission where you try to like do it, but she had her knees up, which was kind of a weird thing because then that meant that there was no pressure on her like body to a
It was
certain
just
extent. So it did
strange.
feel
They did
very
another
weird.
weird move.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just I think we both kind of said it. I don't know. It was weird. They had no chemistry in the ring. Like, um, I liked PJ's presence and movement in the ring a little bit more than Lucky's, but all in all, I just felt like there was zero chemistry between the two of them. Because, like, at the end of the day, I think you do have to have some kind of chemistry together,
oh, absolutely.
and they didn't. They
Yeah,
lacked it
which
fully.
definitely makes sense in this case because this is only Luck's second match on the card because essentially how the independents the WWE talent works, you only could get a contract through the WWE thing either that they select you in the beginning or you have to win the championship from the current champion, which she is the women's champion after the belt got vacated. So like she's very brand new to the WWE product in general, and then like PJ Vasa is obviously part of like LFG, but like that was always her weakest
Right.
part is the in ring work. So it definitely was not the call to do. Plus, I thought between this match and the next one, having both ID champions in matches and both of them losing really did sting for the ID program. Like they should have split the difference there, but Luck has now lost twice in her 2 matches in Evolve when she's supposed to be a champion is kind of a dumb idea,
Kind
especially
of a
with
bad
yeah,
choice, a
especially this
weird
was
choice.
basically a squash match. Like PJ Vasa had all the offense, and then Luck basically, I think she had one or two comebacks and then just absolutely got destroyed. I would
Hmm.
like they didn't have it on Cage Match yet, but I'm pretty sure this was the only match that didn't qualify for a rating because it was under 5 minutes.
And
So
and that's another thing too, is like to have this be your only women's match on the card, that's a very frustrating thing to me, is like, why are we doing the most lackluster? And maybe this is common for Evolve. I don't really know. I understand that it's like lower level people learning how to be good wrestlers. So like I mean you got to give them a little bit of grace, I suppose, but I feel like you should have brought people on that had a little more oomph or chemistry, or like it didn't even feel like it literally felt like to me they told them 5 minutes before the show started, "Hey, you two, we're we're gonna put you guys in and just figure it out. Just or go backstage and just figure something out. Just figure something out." And then just threw them in the ring, and they didn't know what the hell to do. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know each other's wrestling styles, and that's what it felt like to me a
yeah,
little bit.
it actually really I would not be surprised if it's very similar to that because I feel like they did like eject that into the storyline because the storyline going before this was the men basically the PC talent was just like no. Like they like Kendall Gray was supposed to have a title match on this card and they just said hey no like they laughed it off like oh she's not getting a
Mhm.
match type of thing which didn't make any sense because Kendall Gray is a PC talent, and like so it would have worked, and like it would have fit in here. But that's why I said they. I think they scrambled and they threw together. Like I think I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure Luck is the only ID prospect on the roster. So there is no other combination of people that they could have put in this match, or at least on the one side. So I think they just put her with the least experienced person, which is PJ Vasa, and that's what made the whole disaster because they couldn't put anybody else in it because everybody else on the women's side is in storylines or like feuds of their own, and it wouldn't make any sense to do that. So they literally, I think, like you said, I think this was a like last minute like, oh crap, we got to put something on this to make sure we have a women's match, and they picked terribly because it just did not work. But I put this
And that
in D also. Like
I
I put this definitely at the
agree. I
bottom.
agree. I just felt like it was not good. Like, because I've seen squash matches where it's like you kind of low key root for the person squashing, like it's just they have that presence or that power that sort of draws you in. And I felt like in general this just and I'm not even saying I don't know. It may not even be the women's fault, that this happened
Yeah,
like this,
I
but
think it's
it sucked.
a little bit of everything because like even with PJ Vasa, like they haven't built her up. Like they've been like kind of toting her as like being this monster, and she got like I think she's gotten like I think she's 1-1. She lost her title match, and so she's really not that built up to have a squash of her. Like I
Hmm.
said, like at least on the next match with like Cappuccino Jones, he had his arm behind his back, so like there
You
was
mean
gonna
Mocha
be.
Jones?
Yeah, Mocha Jones. Yeah, yeah. But like at least like he had the arm behind his back, so like there was something. But they didn't even do anything like that with her. Like they could have done something or her get attacked before she got into the ring. Like they really just let her go in there and just absolutely crash and burn. And it did PJ Vasa nothing either because she didn't look good either. So like it really was just
Yeah.
they would have been better just to cut the match or let the Kendall Gray match go in there because Kendall is almost consistently matching an S or A tier match every time she's out there. So like that would have made
Hmm.
this card probably one of the best episodes if they would have changed that and let that go in there because this one just
Yeah.
flopped because I legitimately think it's what you said. Like they pretty much probably walked up to these two and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you 4 minutes, maybe
Figure it
five
out.
minutes, figure out a match, do something." PJ Voss is the winner. That's it. And I think that's the only direction that they gave them. And I
It
think
felt
that's what
like
we got.
that.
Because the problem with you and Lady Luck or like Lady Luck, um, she's on the road like the rest of the year. So I guarantee you she came here probably for a like day. She filmed probably both of her matches, the one from last week and this one, and then she's probably off on the road again. And so she probably just was like, okay, whatever, because her other match wasn't good either. So like it just I don't think they gave her any time to learn
That
anything or do
sucks.
anything. So
But that
her
that sucks even more though, because like this is such a huge opportunity, like especially, if you're an indie talent, right? Like to be on a
yeah.
WWE
Well,
type
she's
of
the
programming.
champion too. She's the
Yeah,
WWE ID
I don't know.
champion. She lost both of her matches on WWE programming back to back. Like Carmen, she lost to Carmen last week. Another match that was okay, but again, it was the same issues that she basically got squashed, and when she did have offense, it was just too slow. But again, like that match was also one of the worst that's ever been in Evolve. The women's division in general have probably the better matches and the better storyline. It's just the bottom of the women's division is way worse. It seems like they just don't have as
Mhm.
much talent or as many women. Honestly, it's not even maybe a talent thing because I think like there's probably about consistently like 10 women on the show, and as you can see, we saw over 10 men just with what we saw on this episode, and that's without a bunch of people that they normally don't even that are normally on here. So it's just kind of a small talent pool, and when you're bad, you're going to be way more noticeable.
Right.
But yeah. Next
Yeah,
match,
not
what
a
you
great
said,
match.
yeah, Mocha, Mocha Jones versus Brooks Jensen, the one arm behind your back match. This one was
Yeah,
going to
that's
be a
crazy.
little doomed from the start to a certain extent because Cappuccino Jones definitely should have won this match, but there's no way he could. Like if he won this match, that kills Brooks Jensen because Brooks Jensen,
That's yeah.
for byproduct, is one of the few guys that are there on a demotion. He was part of NXT for the longest
Oh,
time,
okay.
and he got demoted
That would
to
have buried him, yeah.
yeah. So him losing here, and he already got pinned by Cappuccino Jones in the Gauntlet. That's what the whole storyline is. That Brooks Jensen, they did a 5v5, and Cappuccino Jones pinned him during that gauntlet match to almost win it for this talent. And then like they had a bunch of shenanigans obviously happen and the heels won. But essentially that's where they had it. So like they had to have him win this because he had his arm behind his back. But overall, I think the moves in this was pretty solid. Obviously, you put your highest, biggest flyer and ground him. It's going to be a little hard to do that because pretty much every move that he has it takes both hands, so it makes it a little harder.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, with just one arm, that's rough, buddy.
Yeah, but I think overall, I think it was a still a really solid match. For Cappuccino
I
Jones, I
like
think,
the
yeah,
bullying of the Cam. I think Cam Hendricks, right?
yeah.
He's like, "Oh, let me. It's gonna be a 4v1," and just pinned him.
Oh, that was at
That's
the
rough,
last
buddy.
match. That was the last match.
Oh, that was the last
Yeah,
match. Okay, I got mixed up. My
yeah.
bad.
This was the other match that, that one. But yeah, no, you're good. But yeah, essentially with this one, like I said, it was pretty solid. I'll put it in a solid B. Like I said, it was just kind of the gimmicky of the having the arm behind your back is going to be always kind of a hard match. One to make look good, and two, how it's going to end because you already know it's definitely not going to be the person with his hand behind his back winning because that kills the other person. Then we had the little bit of that segment with Chuy Martinez where he had to talk about the ID talent and the handshake and hot dog things. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that was pretty
I'm
funny.
not a big fan of Chewy either. Like that's another fan that we go on the channel. A lot of people aren't. It's just because like he's that backstage talent guy. He's not the worst. It's just like they make him kind of be a dork back there 90% of the time. And like with other roles, normally when they have these type of people, they're like ex wrestlers. And as far as I know, I don't think he has that type of background. So he's just kind of a guy that they
Hmm.
bully a lot in the show. So I'll put that segment up in A, and then we'll get to the main event if you wanted to talk about it. This was
Yeah, and
the
that was the one. Yeah, no, I realized that too. I don't know what I was
you're
thinking
good.
because it
It's
was like,
fine. Yeah, I was just saying it's fine. But yeah, it was the 3-on-1 handicap match that then turned onto a 4-on-1. I thought so pretty solid so far with those. Like most of the match, it had a good flow to it. And obviously the moves and stuff. I mean, you already kind of go into this match knowing what's going to happen. It was kind of surprising that it was like a tag match. I mean, I guess most handicap matches are
hmm
2-on-1, so you can actually have like that, but 3-on-1 just it. I mean, it works, but like it definitely limited the damage that they could have done to Jackson Drake.
hmm
But how'd you like it? Did you like anybody in it?
Um, I'm trying to think. I think I was just kind of interested to see how it went down and stuff. The kid with the I don't know why I'm so mean to the pretty boy. What's
That
his name?
Doctor First on his butt, Jackson
Dr.
Drake.
Thirst. His tattoo on his side is so weird and random, and I don't know why that was so distracting to me, but it was.
The
Um,
sickle one or the
and
the other one that he has.
the like Reaper thing,
Yeah.
the sickle one or whatever. I'm like, why? Why is that there? I don't know why that was sort of distracting to me. But one thing I did kind of talk to you about, and whenever we were watching this one, I find interesting is that it feels like there's a little bit more diversity down here than there is in the main roster.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of a thing that
I know
Evolve
that wasn't as
has.
much about the match,
Oh
but
no, I mean it's still something to talk about. Yeah, it definitely does compared to also like NXT's pretty diverse and like they really do try to get everybody opportunities in here and stuff. And you know, obviously like with championship wise, we haven't really got to see it as much of like at least with maybe like winning a championship just because at least in Jackson Drake's thing, he's held it for 270 days. So he's had it since the pretty much the beginning of the title. So like but he's defended
Mhm.
it against Keanu Carver. He's defended it against some of the luchas that came from AAA. So like he's had some pretty good diversity in his matches, even. You know, and pretty much they've done that pretty much with the show in general. You know, kind of giving anybody the push that is going to be able to get there. Because especially with like at some point they're probably going to have some tag team championships. There's a lot of good tag teams that are just kind of like different and unique compared to what you see on the main roster
Yeah.
and even NXT sometimes. So I can definitely see what you're talking about on that.
No, I did enjoy this match though. I did. I don't feel like it was as I still feel like that first match was the best though.
Yeah, definitely was. And sometimes they do that. It's like the unfortunate part is that like everybody that kind of goes out there tries to wrestle their ass off. So like
Of
sometimes
course.
the other matches that are not the main event will be better because mainly they always put this like the story match in the main event thing. And sometimes it's one of the worst matches on the card just because the other stuff is just people wrestling. Like there's that first match had really
Yeah.
nothing to do with anything other than just like everybody kind of vaguely knew each other and vaguely had like some story, but for the most part it was just like, oh yeah, go out there and wrestle your heart
A
out
match
for
just to
whatever
wrestle
time. Yeah. But yeah, I probably put
for
this
the
in
love of the
B.
game.
I think it was, you know, a pretty solid a batch, but I wouldn't put much more on it. Definitely seen better
Yeah.
from any one of these four guys. Cam Hendricks was the only one that I haven't seen before. He hasn't had a match yet. His first one will be the title match next week against Jackson Drake, so that should be
Okay.
interesting.
Where did he come from?
Cam Hendricks is from LFG. He was in season 1 and 2.
Oh, you told me that. No, no, no,
Yeah,
and I remember seeing
and
him. I
he's
forgot. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm on the same page
he's
now.
married to Maxine Dupree on the main
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
roster.
I
They
remember now.
just
I do
got married,
remember.
so it's kind of
I was
interesting
gonna
what
say I
they'll
thought he was just
do.
dating her at the time.
Yeah, he had just started dating her, and then it's been so long, and 2 seasons from now, I think he got like fourth place in season 1. I think he got second place in season 2, and pretty much whoever gets like second and third, they go to Evolve, except for Tyra May Still, who won first season. She's now full time on Evolve because she couldn't cut it on NXT, which was unfortunate for her.
Hmm.
The Olympian girl from season 1, she was the one that won
Yeah, I
it.
remember.
Yeah, she had a couple NXT matches, didn't work out. She's had a couple Evolve matches, and then last episode they like confirmed that she's going to be in Evolve for the time being, which kind of sucks. Like I said in my last
Mm.
review, they celebrated her demotion, so it was kind of unfortunate. But that's kind of what you have with some of the talent here, because like a lot of them are independents or like people that are brand new. But every once in a while, there's probably about 3 or 4 people that are from NXT that are no longer on NXT, so they did this because Evolve itself is a replacement show for a show called NXT Level Up. It used to be just like
Hmm.
2, 3 matches with no storyline of just the bottom of the roster of NXT getting matches so they would get time. But they got rid of that and then they changed it into like a full fledged show because Evolve used to be like an independent organization that WWE bought out a couple years ago. And so like
Okay.
there's like history to it, but like it's not the same history, even though like they share the same name, the title is similar, the colors are similar, but like it's not the same thing, I guess. It's a weird thing how it
Yeah.
works, but it ends
That's
up
confusing, but okay.
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm glad you reviewed it for me with me, and I will
No,
put
I
your.
I enjoyed it for the most part. I definitely feel like it's interesting that we can get this many matches in a 40-minute show than and sometimes it feels like that's more matches than the main
Oh,
like
absolutely,
Raw
yeah,
has.
yeah. No, it is. It's kind of crazy now. They do normally only do three. That's kind of like their sweet spot, but man, they've pumped out five in matches before, and those are always the worst episodes
That's crazy.
because they're always just like
Yeah.
two,
They're
3 minutes
rushing.
long. Yeah, and they're just like one sided, and then they're just done. But they've done it before. I can't remember exactly what episode, but I'm pretty sure there was one with five and quite a few with four, and they always seem to overall be a little bit rough. But I'll probably put the whole entire show in a solid like B plus. Most everything was
Yeah, I
pretty
enjoyed it.
good. It was definitely a good one that you saw. I
It's a
mean,
little corny.
yeah, which NXT is like that too. Like NXT has like the acting part of it reminds me of like watching the
Mhm.
CW. It's kind of funny because it is on the CW, so it fits perfectly to the demographic that they're going to. But like it has that because that's the hardest part to learn. It feels like with some people is the actual mic skills. So it kind of seems corny and like they're acting compared to like when Seth Rollins goes out there, it just seems like that's Seth Rollins. Like I don't feel like he's playing a character. That's just the dude out there,
Mhm.
doing that. CM Punk's the same way. Like he just seems to be going out there and just laying it down
Playing
with
himself.
ease. Yeah. And then like when he wants to do a heel version, it's just his, evil side type of thing. But it doesn't seem like he's doing anything. He's just out there aimlessly talking and it's working perfectly compared to these ones that definitely feel like they've worked on these lines in the mirror like 15 times even though they only had 2 minutes of
Mhm.
screen time, not to mention most of it's recorded, so I have a feeling a lot of these backstage segments take a little bit longer because they
To
can
be fair, I
redo
think
them.
there's a level of desperation that comes, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, they've made it. They're there. They can relax. Like, obviously they got to keep working, but there's a certain relaxation that comes with being at that age where they're like, yeah, put in a good run. I'm here. I've made it. I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Whereas these younger people, they've got a lot of learning to do and they've got a lot of proving to do.
No, definitely I agree with all that. But thank you for coming and watching.
Thanks for
We
having
got
me.
lucky that the snow came in, that we were able to do this, and I'm happy that we got to because it was interesting. I like to see the outside perspective because not a lot of people watch the show, so it makes it interesting to see new eyes on it compared to not like there really
Watching it
isn't
every
much
week.
people
Yeah.
that watch it. But yeah, I'll put Scar's information in the bio. They've been live streaming mostly on Twitch right now, so make sure you give a follow over there. And if not, they're always on my stream pretty much every other night. So
Pretty much. Yeah.
yeah, so you'll see them there too. But until next time,
Thanks for having me.
yeah, bye guys.